This is the Lexus UX300e and it's an electric car which right now is not on sale in India, and Lexus has no immediate plans of bringing this car either to the Indian market. So what exactly are we doing here with this car and why am I driving and reviewing it? Well, there is an interesting story behind this. So over the next few minutes, let's find out about that and this car a little bit more. One look at the UX300e and it's unmistakably a Lexus. At the front you get the typical Lexus grille and the razor sharp edgy headlamps. The bumper has a lot of sharp creases all around, and moving to the side also you've got these nice looking alloy wheels, and the side profile, if you look at it, you've got nice strong shoulder line. The roof line is sort of straight. There's not too much drama or sportiness attached to it because it doesn't really slope sharply like a coupe, but you have a nice looking spoiler. And at the back, well, that's where you get these very distinctive protruding tail lamps which have a very strong Japanese design appeal to them. All of this put together does give the UX300e a very distinctive design element, a very nice and a dynamic proportion, and it does stand out from all of its European rivals. But it, despite being a design that is sort of a crossover, doesn't look much like a muscular crossover. It looks more like a dynamic and a large hatchback. Now, before we go ahead and tell you more about the Lexus UX300e's driving and performance, in case you haven't already subscribed to TOI Auto YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that and press that little bell icon so you can stay updated to all our new upcoming videos. And now getting to the in-cabin experience of the UX300e first. The cabin, well, it's a typical Lexus layout. It's rich in the way it looks. The build quality, material quality, all of it is very nice and premium, just like you would expect it in a Lexus to be. Everything looks like it will age well and it will last for years to come. So on that front, of course, it's a nice cabin to be in, lots of leather, it looks plush. The downside, however, to all this is that when you look beyond the middle layer of the dashboard, when you look at the lower part of the dashboard, well, there are plastics that don't really belong in a Lexus. And well, that's not all. Unfortunately, there is a bit more to be picked on, and that involves the infotainment system. Now, unlike the new NX, which has got a very nice slick touchscreen, this one still employs the old school trackpad with a color screen, which is not a touchscreen. And yes, it does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but using this trackpad is very cumbersome. And I mean, it's not something you want to do, especially when you're driving. It will distract you and it's not safe. So it's not good in terms of operation. The UI is not pleasing either. So it's not an infotainment system that you'll feel comfortable even a few days later. It's just not the system you would want. So yes, that's something that is a big area of improvement for Lexus, and I hope whenever they get an electric car into India, or if they get this one, they should upgrade it to the system that we have seen on the new NX, which is brilliant. Beyond that, of course, the cabin is nice. It's got all the bells and the whistles. It's got good set of features, and once you move back to the rear, you suddenly realize that all the crossover styling and the size, the length of the car doesn't translate into space. The ingress-egress itself is a bit problematic because of the small doors. The seat has got hardly any under-thigh support. The legroom is just about okay. The headroom is decent. The seats themselves are not very comfortable at the back. So from a passenger perspective, the rear seat experience isn't very luxurious or comfortable. So that way, yes, if you're looking at a car which is mostly going to be for two passengers, maybe with kids at the back, I mean, that's at best what the Lexus UX300e would suffice at doing. But moving on to the driving part, well, This is powered by a 54.3 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery, and that is good for just about 200 horsepower. And with the weight of the car, the size of the car, one might think probably the UX300e is not an exciting car to drive. But that's not entirely true. Despite the numbers, the car is fairly quick and it will do 0 to 100 in under 8 seconds, and it feels quick even on the go. So it doesn't really feel slow. It can be fun and engaging to drive. So while it is a fairly quick car to drive, the problem with it is its traction control system. It never lets you deploy all of the power that you have in this car. Now, even if you want to go ahead from a standstill quickly, the traction control is excessively intervening and it will just take away all the fun of driving. So yeah, I mean, when you're driving, you're moving along and you accelerate from a moving position, well, then you can still enjoy the power a bit more. But I wish the traction control had a little less of interference in the driving. But beyond that, I mean, I think the car drives well. The suspension and the ride quality is very comfortable. There's a hint of an underlying firmness to it, but that's good because that just lets you be a little more engaged with the overall driving experience. And now coming to the most important part, and that's how long does it go on a single charge? Well, the company claims about 300 kilometers, but the way we have seen it in the Delhi conditions is you will realistically get about 250 kilometers with most of the driving done in urban traffic and in eco mode. Well, if you want to liven up things, you can engage sport mode, but that's going to take away some range, probably get you down to about 220 or so. But when you look at that range of 250 also, 250 is not a range which is at par with its European rivals. If you look at the cars from BMW, Mercedes, or if you look at even Volvo, well, those cars offer much larger battery packs, lot more performance, a significantly higher range per charge. And even in terms of charging, the fastest you can charge this battery is from a 50 kilowatt hour charging station. So you will be able to take it to about from 0 to 80% in about 50 minutes. If you compare this to some of the European cars, those can charge way faster. And well, that's where Lexus needs to make a big improvement. And that's where I think the new electric vehicle, if they bring to India, or even if they bring the UX, needs some kind of a change. It's good to drive, it feels like a Lexus, it's luxurious, it drives well, it handles well, it's very stable. The only problem is it's not as exciting to drive as some of the other electric cars are, and it doesn't even go that long on a single charge. So yes, I mean, from a technology perspective though, like I said earlier at the starting of this video, this is not a car that's going to be sold in India, and it's not on sale in India right now. We have no idea when Lexus will bring a car in India when it comes to electric mobility, but if and when it does, I think the UX provides us a good glimpse into what to expect. We can expect a proper Lexus, a car that is brilliantly smooth and hassle-free to drive. It's very comfortable, luxurious. All they need to do is they need to get a larger battery pack, get some more range, get more performance, get rid of this cumbersome infotainment system with the trackpad, just plonk in the system from the new NX, which is brilliant. And with all those changes, I think the UX itself will be a great electric car for the Indian market, or if not, if some any other model too. But these changes definitely have to be made for Lexus to have a good shot at the growing EV market in the country.